Hello there, I'm back again. As you see, the weather has cheered up a little bit. Well, it's still a bit cloudy, but there's some blue sky. Enough to make a sailor's pair of trousers, as my nan used to say. And we're back outside the auditorium again, no rain. I've had a good morning. We saw Trystan Swale. I told you about Trystan, because I saw him at the Oxford Skeptics in the pub, and I'll put a link in the description box to where I talk about my crop circle dream and how it came true. Now Trystan did a speech here today, which is pretty much the same as the one he did in Oxford. The fact is that this anniversary is not just the 30th anniversary of ASSAP this week. It's also the 20th anniversary of the Doug and Dave incident, which still many people have accused of being a hoax, and I've got to say that there's a lot of validity to that theory. Trystan disagrees completely. For him, Doug and Dave are basically the founders of an artistic movement, and I suppose you could say that in a way. I mean, the man-made crop circles are a form of art, and unlike some people, I don't object to people making them, and apart from the damage they do. But of course, any wily farmer can make more than a compensating few bob if he knows what he's doing. Hiring out the field to crop circle scientists, and also to basically people just to come and visit. And TV companies, things like that. Now, according to Trystan, the crop circle phenomena was unknown before the 1970s, when Doug and Dave basically got together. They were both artists by trade. Also, a couple of old guys from Wiltshire decided to go out with an old garden roll and make a circle in the fields. Didn't get anywhere, so they made a few more. The patterns got more complicated, and sooner or later, the people Trystan thinks of as being paranormal believers got hold of it, and basically took the story and ran with it. And he basically says that that's all there is to it, and it's taken on a life of its own through people's belief systems and their unwillingness to face up to rationality. I'm trying to get both sides of the story at the moment, but I do doubt that there's much more to this incident than meets the eye. And in Oxford, Trystan actually said, if you don't take my word for it, look into it for yourself. There is another side to the story. It's a very, very distinct side. It's equally cogent to Trystan's side, and I recommend to all Panwo TV viewers to look at both sides of the story. What doesn't help is that the circle makers don't admit to any specific circle they've made, and to be honest, they can't for legal reasons, because technically it's criminal damage and trespass. And one man, Matthew Williams, has been arrested and convicted of making a crop circle. He's the only man in the world so far to carry that honour, and he does wear it on his sleeve, I must say. He does like that kind of thing. So look into people like Michael Glickman and others who are, to show there's another side to the story. Now, I've had to miss a couple of speakers basically because, at Exopol I was just so exhausted by the upload of information from all the speakers. I just couldn't. I found it hard to cope, as you'll remember if you saw the video. Right now, I want to take it a bit more easy at this conference, which means I've taken time out. I've been around the bookstore with Trystan, and also very, very amazingly, they've got a wonderful activity you can do. They've set up a paranormal laboratory downstairs in the basement of this building, and you just go down there. It doesn't cost you anything, and you fill out a form, and you go around doing these various psychic experiments, which include using Zener cards, which is a bit boring, but it's a way of seeing if you're able to predict or to foresee or see extrasensorily what's coming next. Another is dowsing. You get a chance to dowse. There's a test for remote viewing and seeing what's inside a locked box. We did the same thing at the Weird conference, but this is a bit more complicated. There's a lot more in it. And what's more, there's a haunted chair. There's two chairs. One of them's haunted and the other one's not. And you've got to try and sit in them and work out which one's which. I think I know which one it is. I was quite confident with that one. But that's well worth doing, and at the end the results are going to be announced at the end, and you get a prize because they call it the Paranormal Olympics. Right, well that's it so far. I've had my dinner, and I'm going to go back later and hopefully see Kieran O'Keefe. I don't think I'll be seeing any speakers before that, but I'll let you know how I get on. See you later.